Welcome, trivalent beings. It's time for the Ask Doc Alkebulanese Solutions show, showcasing the trivalent understanding noetics tune, the next step in humanity, featuring stand-up philosophy combined with comedy, culture, sciences, and music, self-produced and performed through a genre called edutainment, coined by KRS-One, educating while entertaining, by the hip hop trio Plus and Global Entertainment. Host, creator of Tune, Dr. Kwaku L. Carlisle Woods, RN, MD, Met D1, yes, and I need to be looking at y'all. Co-host, Dr. Hamida Rockman Woods, MED, PhD, Met D2. I have the PH, he has the M, we both have D's, that makes us Doc². The title of today's show is Guilty as Charged.
Woo, 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 woo. Ha ha! Hi, everybody. I am so glad that y'all are here with us today, especially today, because today we're going to have a rather special show. Guilty as Charged. Now, when I first wrote that down, I was thinking a whole lot of things, but what I got directed to was to continue the tools of the trivalent understanding noetics. And we were working on affirmations of the wounded soul. I had given you the preamble for the affirmations of the wounded soul. I had given you the first tool. We had worked on the affirmation against fear. Agape is the affirmation against fear.
Yes.
It seemed very, very significant that we should give you that right about then, because it just so happens that people without agape, men, were trying to make decisions for people who have agape, and lots of it, females. When they did Roe v. Wade, they decided for females, that human beings with agape, what they need to be worrying about. Okay. So we're moving on from that, and we're moving on by giving you the rest of the affirmations of the wounded soul, or at least the next portion of the affirmation of the wounded soul, which has to do with eliminating hate, fear, guilt, shame. Imagine what your life could be like if you did not have fear, hate, guilt, shame. Imagine what your life could be like.
Free.
That's the trivalent understanding noetics.
Yes.
Eliminating hate, fear, guilt, and shame are frequencies of emotion. And we eliminate them by using frequencies of emotions that counteract and eliminate these other frequencies. We use the frequency of agape. We already talked about that. Filial. Well, we're going to get to that in just a while. And today's frequency, which are about the most difficult of these disabling frequencies to actually recognize.
Yes.
And they're difficult to recognize because we hide them from ourselves.
Yes.
We don't let ourselves know that we are being affected by these disabling frequencies of guilt and shame.
Yes.
The affirmation against guilt and shame begins by giving you a picture of a definition of what guilt and shame is. But to really understand that picture, you have to interpret the words I and me. Now, I, in the affirmations of the wounded soul, stand for your ego, if you're going Freudian. This is a part of you that pretends to be you. Its job is to make you think that your ego, is you. Now, this is in contradiction to a part of your mind that Freud called the superego, transactional analysis identifies that as the parent. And it identifies it as a parent because your parent is always telling you things that you should be doing. And you store them up in a part of your mind where all advice given to you by elders or ancestors or the Most High is stored. And it always seems to be coming down to you from a higher position. Because when you generally first got these corrections, directions, you were a child and they were adults. And they told you things like, cross at the corner at the stoplight. You always got to wear clean drawers. You never know when you have to go to the hospital. Things like that. Okay, so the affirmation against guilt and shame begins. Guilt is the emotion I feel when I listen to me describe the wrong things I've done. Again, guilt is the emotion I feel. When I, that's my ego, listens to me, that's my superego, telling me about the wrong things I've done. Again, I'm listening to this, so I'm seeing images of this. As opposed to shame. Shame is the emotion I feel when I listen to me describe the wrong things I am. Big difference between what you do and what you are. Okay. What I am seems to be a little bit more difficult to change than what I do. What I am seems to be just about permanent, or at least very difficult to change. It is very difficult to change what you are. And that's what shame is all about. And you know when you are dealing with shame because it's not only about what you are, it's usually preceded by the statement, you are just like your father. You are just as stupid as you are. Playing those things back in your spirit brings about shame. And the affirmation of guilt and shame is about doing things that eliminate the feeling of unworthiness that both guilt and shame make you feel. There is a statement that's often attributed to Nelson Mandela's inaugural address. It really isn't. Y'all remember back when Lion 44.5, that's our ex-president. He's not a whole person, so I sure can't count him as a whole president. So he's Lion 44.5. You remember when he was running for the presidency and there's a whole bunch of Democrats running for the presidency and one of them was a female named Marianne Williamson?
Yes, Marianne Williamson.
This statement that is attributed to Nelson Mandela was actually quoted by Marianne Williamson in her 1989 book, Return to Love. And it states, guilt and shame, it talks about, I apologize, let me give you a little prelude first. It talks about the unworthiness that guilt and shame make you feel, but it doesn't use those words specifically. It specifically says, our deepest fear is not that we are weak, my own ad, comma, parentheses, unworthy. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? I remember hearing over and over and over and over and over and over and over as a child. Who you think you are? You think you're better than me? What you think you are? You think you smart? You think you anything that's good? You think you smart, cute, taller? Mm-hmm. You think you. Mm-hmm. Like thinking you were good is a bad thing. Thinking you are superior is an awful thing. Mm-hmm. Unworthiness is what you're supposed to be about because of all the guilt and shame that you've been heaped with. And if I do say so myself, our ancestors were heaped with more guilt and shame than any other people ever born on this planet. They were definitely bathed in unworthiness because of their complexion, their hair, their facial configuration, their body formation, their abilities, their anything. Our ancestors were bathed in guilt and shame, and they had to learn to master those feelings of unworthiness that guilt and shame brought into them. Okay, and Ms. Williamson goes on to quote, actually, who are you not to be? All of those brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous things. You are a child of God. And I add, and a descendant from ancestors that stretch back to the very first human beings. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that others won't feel insecure around you, pink people. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fears, fears of what? Fears of being unworthy. Our presence automatically liberates others. Our presence automatically liberates others because that's kind of what we were created to be. We were created to be those that assisted, enabled, or uplifted others around us. We were created to be our brother's keepers. Way back in, I think it was 2016, it was 2008. 2008, I got a call here in Cleveland from some politicians who wanted me to go down and try out to be the opening act for this politician from Illinois who wanted to be president. We were chosen to do that, and for his first political visit to the city of Cleveland, we were the opening act for this senator from Illinois named Barack Obama, who stated he wanted to be president. And as he shook my hand as we left the stage and thanked me for all the work that I had been doing, believe it or not, God told me that he was going to be president of the United States. And I immediately went backstage and told every member of Global Entertainment that God told me he was going to be president of the United States of America. Did I, Mick, or did I not?
Yes, you did.
Okay. He assured me that, yes, I most definitely did, because I did. And I told everybody there that God told me this guy from Illinois was going to be president of the United States. And he had some, let's say, words about being your brother's keeper.
Yes.
Listen to what Global Entertainment thought about that same thing. Global Entertainment, brother's keeper.
Of America. The idea that we are responsible for ourselves, but that we also rise or fall as one nation. The fundamental belief that I am my brother's keeper. I am my sister's keeper. That's the promise we need to keep. That's the change we need right now.
Yeah. Global entertainment. That's right. Oh sound, baby. Oh sound, baby. Yeah, we got Mick Beats on the 1-2s. What's up, Dougie? A brothel, I got you. Listen. Yeah, now I'ma need you to bite your tongue and just listen to the truth. I'm trying to penetrate your soul with these rhymes of blues. Picture the day, you're not hating me, I'm not hating you. Back when the old heads could talk to the youth, we gotta humble ourselves to find God in ourselves. The wicked sell, why the true artists stay on the show. Ask this question, think we got a little too comfortable. The sins that we commit, we never wanna stop and question them. It's like we wear a blindfold on our eyes. That's an immunity to see wrong in these devilish times. We can't seem to get away from this guilt and shame, we fear knowledge. That's why we still act like slaves. I watch my brothers and sisters walk around with no pride. Now ball your fist up and throw your hand high in the sky. To free the people was part of the plan. That's why they trust me. Put this microphone in my hand. Your brother's keeper.
Brother's keeper.
Yes, I am.
Am I my sister's keeper?
Yes, I am.
Am I that one you speak of?
Yes, I am.
That's why they trust me. To put this microphone in my hand. Am I my sister's keeper?
Yes, I am.
Am I my brother's keeper?
Yes, I am.
I bet you I can reach ya.
Yes, I can.
I want to see you. That's why I got this mic in
Hey,
my hand.
American sister, tell me how you doing. To my American brothers, keep on moving up in life. And yeah, I know it's stressing you out. You feel you work the block shift to keep food in your mouth. My single mothers trying to pay the rent for the house, and does your man love you? Having them thoughts of doubt, yo, don't stress it. Let the pain eat from your soul. When are you never too old to accomplish your goals? To my shorties in the street who never had a home, had to learn at an early age to stand on their own. I pray for you and all the struggle that you go through. That's why I'm here on this track, reaching out to you. Learn to see each other as brothers instead of different races. Stop labeling each other by the color of our faces. To free the people was part of the plan. I won't deceive you, that's why I got this mic in my hand. Your
Am I
brother's
my
keeper.
brother's keeper?
Yes, I am.
Am I my sister's keeper?
Yes, I am.
Am I that one you speak of?
Yes, I am.
That's why they trust me to put this microphone in my hand. Am I my sister's keeper?
Yes, I am.
Am I my brother's keeper?
Yes, I am.
I bet you I can reach ya.
Yes, I can.
I want to see you. That's why I got this mic in my hand.
Hey yo, what's up, fam? Yeah, I'm talking to you. They say you all what you eat with just a spiritual food. For the ear, just manifested. Don't know what I can't get. They call me undereducated, plus I read Revelation. So I'm 10 steps ahead of Satan. This rhyme is food for thought, you can call it meditation. Illustrations of Quad being a false seeker. Great preacher, on the mic that's here to teach ya. The streets call me pain reliever. Your brother's keeper, keeper. Hey, yeah. Now I'ma need y'all to do something for me. You ready? Yeah. Open your eyes and tune your ears so you know what you see and understand what you hear. Your brother's keeper, 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 keeper.
Keeper? Am I my sister's keeper? Am I that one you speak of?
Yes, I am.
That's why they trust me to put this microphone in my hand. Am I my sister's keeper?
Yes, I am.
Am I my brother's keeper?
Yes, I am.
I bet you I can reach ya.
Yes, I can.
I want to see you. That's why I got this mic in my hand.
Okay, that sucked.
All right, that was Humble G with the Africans.
Yes, that was Humble D and the Africans.
Yes.
However, due to technical difficulties in my ear, I couldn't hear it well. I hope y'all enjoyed it though.
Yes.
Okay, both guilt and shame lead to feelings of unworthiness, as both Nelson Mandela and Marianne Williamson both attested. Now, that unworthiness that guilt and shame brings causes you to stop you. It causes you to feel that you are not just unworthy, but unable to do anything that you can't imagine. You got to remember, your spirit does three basic things. It enables, it protects, and it images or visualizes. That's what you're doing when you imagine, when you look inside yourself and see things. That is your spirit doing that. I gave you the pyramid paradigm early in the classes, in which I asked you, how do you get to the top of a pyramid? You start at the bottom and go to the top. Answer is, the question is, how many different ways to go from the bottom of the pyramid to the top? Right. Answer is, as many as you can imagine. Again, your imagination is the key. If you can't imagine something, it doesn't exist. And feeling unworthy means that you cannot imagine yourself doing stuff that is worthy. You can't imagine yourself, again, being, what did I say? Gorgeous, brilliant, talented, fabulous. And unfortunately, this is what our ancestors had to deal with for about the first 100 years of being enslaved. And then they worked out spiritual methods and means to go around that guilt and shame. But guilt and shame, through their legacy of unworthiness, seem to put shackles on your interface between your spirit and your mind.
Yeah.
These shackles cause a decrease in spiritual emotional energy. They block manifestations of your spiritual gifts.
Yeah.
And they causes you to rationalize the inabilities that you cause you. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't do that. And you think up lots and lots of reasons why you can't do that. All of them made up by you to help you rationalize why you are stopping you. Okay. Loose the shackles of guilt and shame with the twin keys of faith and grace. Yes. You can free yourself through the use of these two forces, these two frequencies, these two energies that totally and completely eliminate guilt and shame. In order to use them effectively, you must understand them.
Yes.
You must accept them, and you must practice them regularly. Now, faith. In order to understand faith, I think a good idea would be for you to have some definition of what faith is. What's faith? I kind of want to use a Judeo-Christian reference called the Bible. And I believe it's James. Faith is substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things. No, it's Hebrews 11:1.
Yeah, right, honey.
Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. What does that mean? Faith is the evidence of things hoped for. Things that you hope for. The only evidence that you have of those things is your belief that those things are coming.
Yeah.
Will be there. Exist. And you have access to them. Faith is your ability to do that. You have an image in your spirit of these things that you want. The substance of things hoped for. The evidence of things not seen. Yeah. And they are not seen with which eyes? These or these? They are not seen with the eyes in your front of your face. But they are seen with your spiritual vision, and that is what makes them real.
Yes.
Faith is about using getting practice with, and relying on your internal vision. Using your spirit to create these things that you want to be. Okay. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is also the substance of things not seen, the evidence of things hoped for. Ha ha! Have you noticed to flip the script? Did you see that? Did you notice that I just flipped that script right over like that? Okay. Faith is the substance of things not seen. Let's take this into science. In science, there is a field called molecular dynamics. And in molecular dynamics, you're dealing with the structure and composition of a thing called an atom. All things in this reality, we believe, are made up of these things called atoms. And atoms are made up of three basic parts. Electrons that float around the outside, neutrons, and positrons that make up the core. Now, neutrons and positrons are made up of something called quark. And the first scientist who decided he wanted to break up a neutron and positron and break them down into quarks, he thought, well, I believe a quark, when I finally break one away, is going to spin 160 degrees counterclockwise. And he took an atom and put it in an atom smasher, and bam, it smashed, and neutrons and positrons broke apart, and quarks were released, and he caught a quark, and they measured it, and you know what? That quark spun 160 degrees clockwise, just like he thought. He wrote it up. Quarks spin 160 degrees clockwise. Published his work, and other scientists read his work, and one of them, who I believe was a female, said, I don't believe this crap. I believe a quark spins 180 degrees counterclockwise. And she put her atom in an atom smasher and smashed her atom and released the quark and measured the quark, and you know what? That quark spun 180 degrees counterclockwise, just like she thought. To make this long story very short, lots and lots and lots of other scientists did the same types of experiment, and they found out, to their amazement, that quarks did whatever you thought / believed they should. Whatever you had faith they would do, they did. You have to understand, this smallest unseen portion of every material in this reality responds to your faith. It does what you have faith it's supposed to do. Faith. Substance of things not seen. And evidence of things hoped for. Oh, okay, wait a minute, y'all. We got a caller.
Caller?
We got a caller.
So who is it, and how are you connected to us, and where you from? Yeah.
Okay, y'all, can we hear the caller?
Yeah.
Caller, I think her name is Tyra Tate.
Oh, Tyra.
Tyra!
Yes.
Yes,
Hey,
yes,
Tyra.
My name is not Tyra Tate. It's Tyra Young.
Ooh.
Okay, it's Tyra Young.
All
See
right
that?
now.
Quit
All
that.
right now, correct
Quit that.
that.
Mixing up and throwing Tate on folks like that. Just handing out Tate. Here, you're Tate. You're Tate.
How you doing, Tyra? What you got a question for us?
I'm here.
Please ask this question.
I'm a little bit sad right now
Why you sad?
because my dog died today.
Oh.
Your dog died today.
Well, we want your dog to rest in peace and all those good memories that you have.
How old was your dog?
The he, she.
His name is Timber, and he was 6, going on 7, and he was a big.
Wow, 6 going on 7, and okay, now in human years you got to multiply times 12. That means he was
40.
like 100 and some odd.
Tyra, you breaking
Nah,
up a little.
40.
You breaking up a little, Tyra.
He was 42.
All
Oh,
right,
42. 7 times 7?
Well, his
I thought it
spirit.
was 12.
If you multiply how many years times 7, so he was 6 years, so 6 times. Ain't that right? 42.
Yeah, that's right. 6 times 7, 42. 7 times 7, 49.
Well, his energy is now in a Y.O.U, and you can make images. You could remember him by remembering images of events that you all have had that were uplifting and even the challenging ones. And his spirit can still be used through you because of the relationship you had.
This dog loved you, and you loved this
Shepherd.
dog.
Yes.
That love will never go away.
Yes.
I grew up with German Shepherds because my grandmama.
Wow.
I grew up with a German Shepherd. Yes.
So did my wife.
So did I.
My
Yeah,
wife
that's
grew
why I
up
said,
training
wow.
German Shepherds.
Yes, my stepfather trained
Yeah.
German Shepherds and sold them, and I assisted in taking care of them and training them, running them.
Right. Do you got
I
a question
trained
for
Timber.
us, ma'am?
No, I'm just really just basically listening, and I just needed to hear y'all voices to make me feel better.
Okay.
And unplug a little bit and listen to something just different so I won't focus on my dog.
Yes.
Let me surprise you, because I'm going to try to make you focus on your dog. I want you to right now visualize your dog. Now, don't visualize him the last time you saw him. I want you to visualize your dog the first time you saw him.
Aww.
I want you
My
to.
little,
Yes.
Aww.
my little fat puppy.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah. See there? Now, tell me you don't feel better.
I do.
I know.
Good time.
And that's what you need to focus on, my
Yes.
sister. Focus on the love that you and he shared.
Yes, Ty.
That love doesn't go away. That love will always be there. And when you get ready to join him in a Y.O.U, oh my God, he's going to run and lick your face. Oh, girl.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, indeed. That is a blessing
Yes.
for him. That is a blessing for you.
And for us that you shared with us.
Thank you for sharing.
Yes,
And we love you,
that's
Tyra,
right.
very
We
much.
Yes,
love
we
you,
do,
Ty.
Ty.
Yes, we do.
And you know what? There's an awful lot of dog lovers all over the
Oh, yeah.
planet
Oh,
that
yeah.
I
I'm
know
one.
that I know
I'm one.
right that I know are listening in, and really this is probably
I'm a
sure-
dog man. Been a dog man all
right.
my life.
I'm sure this has touched their hearts all over the planet.
Yeah.
Everybody
yeah,
listening in.
Yeah.
My wife has allergies to dogs and hair, so I cannot have a dog. But every time we go out, I am attracted to every dog in the neighborhood.
And they're attracted to him as well.
Yes, they are.
They will leave their owner, their
Unfortunately,
mother,
she's correct.
father, and go to him, and they're looking like they don't go to anybody.
Yes, they will leave their owners and
Yes.
come to me.
Yes.
Across a crowded street, they
Yes.
will find me and come
Yep.
to me.
Yeah.
Every one of them. And I
Maybe-
love it.
Well, maybe one day when we have space, we can have a German Shepherd. They don't have a lot of hair.
They don't.
Yeah.
We're gonna
That'll
have
be a compromise.
Yeah, we'll compromise. We're gonna have a dog with hair.
Tyra, if,
Yeah.
if you don't have anything you want to ask, or if not, then
She just did.
we will see you later.
Yeah,
Yes, we will.
I got something I want to ask.
Come on then, ass away.
How do you control your emotions,
Okay, good.
or
Question.
should you
All
even
right.
control them?
That's an excellent
Yeah.
question. Now, hold on. Let me back up just a little bit. Tyra, you are in Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct? Hello? Tyra?
We lost her.
We lost Tyra?
Yes, I'm here. I had it on mute. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
you are
Yes,
in
I'm
Georgia?
in Georgia. Yes, I'm in Georgia.
Good. I'm saying that because Georgia is going to be very, very significant in the upcoming days to weeks about the same question that you have asked, controlling emotions. Because Georgia is going to probably be the site of the first indictment of a United States president.
Yes.
And there's going to
Biden?
be indictment. Yeah.
Biden? You talking about Biden?
No. I'm talking about line 44.5.
Yeah. And we're
Fulton
not,
County
yeah.
is dead set and halfway to indicting him right now.
And we are not political. This is a humanity issue.
No, he tried to tamper with the election.
Yeah.
And he called Rossenberger, is that their man's name? No, it's something else. He called, and everybody heard the call in which he tried to screw up the election. Now, I'm saying those emotions are going to need to be dealt with in some way that is both enabling and to some degree looking forward. You asked, should we try to control emotions? And my answer is no. No. Do not try controlling them. Try understanding them. Through understanding them, you can decide which emotions you want to indulge in and which emotions you don't. Now, as I was saying earlier, one of the problems that people have with guilt and shame is that they lie to themselves and they deny ever feeling guilt or shame. As a result, these emotions work on them unaware. These emotions cause them to do things, feel things, be things that they are completely unaware these emotions are causing, because they hide these emotions. They hide these emotions from themselves. Emotions are not something to hide. Emotions are not something to quote unquote stop. Emotions are necessary for humanity, and to the largest degree, I think we are responsible for the emotions that we generate and choose. Some people, and we're going to get into that later on in this show, actually get into negative emotions. They get into disabling emotions. They get into fear. They get into hate. They get into guilt, shame. They get into a whole bunch of disabling emotions.
And this has been passed down to us from our ancestors being enslaved.
Wow, and they choose it, huh?
Yes.
I want to be free. I want to be free of that.
Yes.
You want to be free of that? That's one of the things that we do in the trivalent understanding noetics.
Yes.
The affirmations of the wounded soul, which is what I'm in the middle of teaching right now, it are specific frequencies that eliminate and counteract the frequencies of fear, hate, guilt, and shame. And anybody who has tried these things know that they not only work, they work pretty damn fast.
Yep.
I have not had fear of anything in so long I can't remember what fear feels like. I really can't. Guilt, shame, I got rid of them a long time ago.
Well, I still apply the tools regularly, and not just daily, but several times a day, because I am a very sensitive individual, and I feel not only what's going on inside of me, I feel what's going on all around me. So those things that we're not aware of, that we're being combat with every day, I face those things by using the tools. When I feel guilt,
I'm an empath.
Okay.
I'm an empath, so I feel I can feel you before you come in the door.
Yep.
That's my
I like
wife.
that
My
too,
wife is the
Ty.
most sensitive person I have ever met. She takes empathy to 2 steps beyond being an empath. I've never met anybody
Yeah.
who's as sensitive as my wife, and at least to the degree that they allow her to choose what she wants to feel and what she doesn't want to feel.
Right.
The tools have been very, very, very valuable
Yes.
in her living. But we do
Will
that.
vector augmentation help me?
Could you repeat that, please?
Will vector augmentation help me?
Yes, but it won't help you with the emotions. The affirmations of the wounded soul will help you with the emotions. And I tell you what you need to do. Call me.
Yeah.
You got my number.
Yeah.
Call me.
No, I get it from Mick.
Use our email. We will email you a copy of the affirmations of the wounded soul. Again, these things are if only as effective as you make them. It is not the words that are written on the paper that are effective or that help you. It's the images that these words bring up. See the images, see them regularly, and the frequency of these images in your spirit will eliminate and to a certain degree prevent the frequencies of those things that they are aimed for. And this is primarily fear, guilt, shame, and hate. But they work, and I got some other tools that work very, very effectively on just about every disabling emotion.
And we do teach class from Zoom, from Snapchat.
Yeah,
So that's something you want to consider.
by all means consider it.
What's the schedule? What's the schedule for the class?
Well, we can get back when you give us a call. Then we can give you the details because your situation would be different because you're in another state. So that's the reason why we would set something up that would fit your schedule in coordination with ours.
Absolutely.
Awesome sauce.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I need it.
Okay,
I need my Cleveland roots. Like, I miss y'all. I miss y'all.
There we are. We're
got
here
some-
for you,
You
girlie.
got some grand roots here. I
We are
know your
straight
family's
right up
background.
here for you.
Yes.
Thank you, Tara. We love you. We love
We
you.
love
Yes.
you. Thank you. We're
Please.
heading on.
I love you. Thank you.
You're so very welcome.
Bye bye.
Wase.
Keep listening, though. Keep listening.
Yes, she is most definitely
I
listening.
will.
Bye bye.
That's a blessing.
Hey, just want to say any other people that wants to call in, go ahead and call to the
Yeah,
number
you can
on
do
this
that now. Yeah.
on this description. There's a description here. We're also live on YouTube on our YouTube channel
That's right.
called the Meta channel. The
Meta.
channel.
METTAH.
Correct.
You got
Okie
it.
doke.
You got it.
We are here with the antidote to guilt and shame. It is faith and grace. We gave you the definition of faith. Grace is much simpler to define.
Yes.
Grace is unmerited favor. That's it. Nothing more. Unmerited favor. Now, every human being needs to understand and accept you are here at this place in time alive because of grace. You didn't do anything to deserve it. You can't do anything to screw it up.
All right.
You are here because God gave you unmerited favor. And that is what you need to give yourself every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Wake
Several
up with it.
times a day.
Yes.
You cannot give others what you do not give you. And everybody needs to give them, understand, and give themselves unmerited favor.
It's
like
yeah.
God gave you.
It's like being on a plane. They tell you to take care of yourself first before you take care of the child. But before you take care of anybody, you pull that survival mask for air down to take care of you first. That's the way it goes. You have to take care of you first.
Absolutely. And let's break this on down and bring it home. Highland Park. Y'all familiar with that, huh? The shooting that happened there, northwest of Chicago. Mick,
My brother.
didn't your cousin live somewhere near Highland Park?
I do believe so.
Lonsky?
Line Skizzle.
Uh-huh. I could have swore he lived right on the edge of Highland Park. But that's where this person was who just decided to kill people.
No.
No particular reason. It wasn't racially motivated. It wasn't sexually motivated. He killed old and young, male and female, and just about everybody there was pink. Specifically, now I don't know how religious he was, because most of the people there, about
Jewish.
40, 50, maybe even 60% are Jewish.
Yeah.
But the young man who did all this killing was from that area. He was from Highland Park. Police said he lived about 20 minutes away from where he was killing.
Yeah.
Now, I want everybody listening to me, forget everything you've seen on television or heard about this killer. Let's just say that there is a new mass killing that happened in the last 10 minutes. There's a new mass killing in which a guy with a rifle killed 7, 8 people, shot about 25. Now, I want you, just from your spirit, I want you to tell me what sex he is. I'm sorry, what sex the killer is.
What race he is.
What race is the killer, and what age range is the killer. All right, y'all done that? Now, I screwed up because I already told you what sex he was.
You've been saying he.
Yeah.
So.
But all mass killers have the same profile.
Yeah.
I repeat, all mass killers in the United States of America are pink males
Yes.
between the age of 18 and 25 or 35. All mass shooters in the United States are pink males between the ages of 18 to 35. Now, what is it about pink males 18 to 35 that makes them want to go out and kill a bunch of people?
Yeah.
And why have you never heard that all mass shooters are pink males 18 to 35?
And honey, look down at these cameras down here.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, let me look down here, because I'm looking up at the screen. Okay. Why have you never heard that? Why has nobody mentioned it in any news report?
Yeah.
Why has no news story, newspaper, news article, news anything told you that pink males 18 to 35 are mass killers? Why has nobody said that?
Talk about black on black crime all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we got another
We
caller.
got another call? Okay. I'm ready.
So who's
Who the caller?
and how you connected to us, and what's your question?
Caller.
Hey. Hello. Hi.
Hi,
This
hi.
is Kenya, a.k.a. KK
Hey,
from Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah. Hey. What's up, Daddy?
Hey.
I love it.
Hey.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey. So my question is, how does one know when they have effectively mastered communicating with the Most High?
Good question. And as I have said many times, I will say it again right now. I speak about 12 languages. We counted them up sometime in the past, and we came up with about 12.
Yeah.
In each of those languages, the most important things that you can learn in any language is how to ask questions. Because if you ask the right questions, you will always be headed in the right direction. If you ask the right question, even with the wrong answer, you're going the right way. If you ask the wrong question, even if you get the right answer, you still jacked up.
Yeah.
So that was an excellent question.
Yes.
How do you know when you have mastered communicating with the Most High? Okay. Number one, you will never master communicating with the Most High while you are here on earth. Very, 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 very few people since the beginning of humanity have ever done that. And we can count them all on one hand. And we're talking about, almost 1 trillion people. And we can count them all. Those who have mastered communicating with the Most High on one hand. One hand. 5 of them.
Wow.
Now, the reason that is because being here in this reality puts a bunch of filters and blocks and other hindrances to communicating with the Most High. The most obvious of which is you, yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, your everything is constantly interfering with communication from the Most High. That's why when I teach people how to communicate with the Most High, one of the procedures that we use is a erasure form that erases and removes your thoughts, ideas, and feelings out of the picture so that you can at least decrease, if not eliminate, some of that interference. But let me specifically address the question that you asked. How will you know? Knowing is emotional, spiritual, which means knowing is a feeling. You will feel that you have successfully communicated with the Most High. And that feeling of successfully communicating with the Most High multiplies. The more you do it, the more you get that feeling. The more you get that feeling, the easier it is to do it. And this all basically predicates on asking. Again, the importance of questions. You ask the Most High and then listen to what the response is. Listening means, again, you make pictures out of what the response is. What I normally tell people to do is ask the Most High questions that have a yes/no answer. Now you have to ask from the right part of your brain. That's the frontal lobe, what most people call the third eye. It's not an eye, and it's not your third one. It is your prefrontal cortex of your frontal lobe. That is a part of your mind that has the most connection with the Most High. You ask there. You close your eyes and focus your eyes with your eyes closed on that portion of your brain so that you can access that portion of your mind that is in closest communication with the Most High. That's your frontal lobe. That's where your morals, that's where your spiritual awareness is, in your frontal lobe. You ask that portion a question, and then you imagine an eraser moving your opinion, your feelings out of the way. And in that space that is left, listen for the Most High. Doing this regularly will, again, make it easier, make you more proficient, and that ease and proficiency will give you a certain amount of both effectiveness and I wouldn't call it mastery. I'll just simply say success. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely, yes. Thank y'all so much.
Oh,
You are so very, very welcome. This is my job, and as I will tell everybody, I love my job. I love it.
And I love assisting him.
Okie dokie.
Yes, y'all do it so well. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you so much, KK. Now,
another call.
We got another call? Okay, I'm going to have one more call then because it's called Ask Doc. So
that's what we want to do.
I'm going to let folks ask.
Hello?
Who that?
Hello?
Greetings. We're here.
Greetings.
Hey.
Who you be?
Hey, this is Amber calling from Cleveland, Ohio.
Amber! From Cleveland! Yes. What question do you have to ask Doc? He'll give you an Alkebulanese
I want to
Solution.
say God bless both you and Anita. I love both of you.
Oh,
Hot
and
dog.
I thank you
God
for
say,
listening.
Amber, we love you too.
We feel loved. We do. We do.
So my question is, going back off of what your topic was, which was my brother's keeper, I believe in that song. When do you realize when you have to be selfish and selfless towards that concept of my brother's keeper?
Okay.
Like how do you go about being the keeper, but also not being, selfish and selfish?
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent question.
Again, excellent questions. Boy, we got some really, really good minds working here tonight. Okay, to answer your question, we're going to go all the way back to what my wife said some time ago when we were talking about grace. And she said, you cannot give to others what you don't first give to yourself. That's kind of the key to the answer to your question. You cannot be your brother's keeper until you first keep you in a means and in a manner that not just satisfies your desire for a living, but to a degree allows you to complete the purpose for which you were created. Every human being that is alive was created for a specific purpose. And the Akan tells us that before we were born, we had to present that purpose before the Most High and the ancestors, and they had to agree that we were to be born to attend to this purpose. Our job then was to find parents that are in our ancestral line that would give us the type of exposures that we needed in order to develop the strength and abilities that were necessary for us to complete our purpose. Unless and until we do those things that make us both effective and to a certain degree pleased with the progress we are making toward our own purpose, we can't help very much of anybody else. But once we are in line with our own reason for being, what the French call the raison d'être, then we can reach out to assist and help others. Otherwise, we could be assisting others to go to the same point of non-fulfillment that we occupy.
Yeah.
So first, we got to do us.
Because that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I feel like I'm at that point of always wanting to help and be a place of peace for those who, I feel like may be off worse than me, or not even that. Just, I feel like I'm in a little bit of a space to help, but knowing that I still got baggage and still got things that I know I need to fix first before I can really take those steps forward. You still are just human beings. You reach out to people. You see people down. You see people hurt. You know you can help. You want to help. You reach out.
Yes,
but then I feel like I become a little, once I get in that mode of where I'm like, okay, I see that I've done my part, but now I can't be that crutch for you anymore. So when you try to not necessarily back out, but show tough love, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like now I'm being a little selfish, maybe.
No, ma'am, you're not being selfish. You're just not going to support somebody in their desire and abilities to, at least to some
Take
extent,
the help and they can keep from it.
yeah, and make you do the work. They don't want to do the work.
And even if it makes sense to attend to a person, it may make good sense, but it may not be what the Most High wants you to do. And I'm learning, make sure I ask the Most High, because my ego is telling me I'm doing a good thing, and then if the person doesn't respond, then I'm pissed off because I feel like I did. My ego's telling me I did what was right, but might not have been what the Most High wanted me to get out of that.
It wasn't what. Right.
Yes.
And I feel like that's what it is. It's when you feel like you're doing the right thing, but then it's not what it's supposed to be intended to be done.
Yes.
It's just you being put in that place of being that help in that moment, and then you letting the universe or whoever you believe in, Yahweh, Yeshua, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like that higher power is what helps guide
you.
So
Yes. Again, as my wife was stating, as we learn to ask God and the ancestors for direction, and we continue to get better at that, asking them when you should back away from assisting someone, it gets really, really simple.
Yeah. And then you want to do it with appreciation. My husband reminds me of that.
Oh God, yes.
Do it once you Most High gives you the answer, put some appreciation in it. Don't be frustrated because you were still thinking about doing what you want to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's a big problem for many human beings, is when they get an answer that isn't what they want to do, they don't appreciate that. And they have a tendency not to go back and go for any additional answers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you do the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
You do what appeals to the moment in time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Then,
it's called ego.
Then you look at there it is.
There
ego.
it
I was
is.
talking about that with somebody. Ego. Once you take your ego out of it, you see a bigger perspective of things. You see the wrong in your side and in the other side. So
please continue to listen to the program. We're about to get into exactly that particular aspect of humanity.
Thank you, Amber.
You're so very welcome. Did we answer your question sufficiently for you, ma'am?
Yes, you did. You did it in expeditionally, however I would say it. But you did it as greatly as I needed it to be put into perspective. So thank you.
You're so very welcome.
And for those of you who don't understand what I say, Madase Pa or Minawase is a Twi word that our ancestors in Ghana use, and other parts of the world too. It's an ancestral language.
Yeah, it's where Amen comes from.
Yes, so that means Madase Pa means thank you in Twi very much. Minawase means you are welcome.
Yeah, you're going to be hearing us do that.
Minawase.
Yes. Oh.
Minawase, Dr. Anita.
Thank you. Madase Pa. Okay, let's go more into the shootings by pink males.
Bye-bye, Amber.
Bye, Amber.
Peace,
we love you.
Amber.
Why do pink males do this? And that's primarily because pink males have insights into what they know but don't understand.
Yeah. Back to guilty as charged.
Yes, guilty as charged. Lion 44.5, our ex-president, once said one of the truest things he has ever said in his life. He said, I don't want to look too deep into myself because I may not like what I find there.
Yeah. Ooh, that's not a good place.
Yeah. What would he find? He would probably find things that are dependent on several factors. It's depending on this dimension that we live in. this dimension of height, width, depth, and time. 4 dimensions. And time is the factor that dictates dimension of the other 3. What's that got to do with pink males killing folks? Well, that's what this guy in Highland Park was all about. He was, according to his post on the internet, a nihilist. A nihilist. That nihilism means nothingness. He hoped for nothingness in death. He didn't like the world he was living in. He wanted to be nothing. Now, you have to understand, mankind is 1 to 2 million years old. And in that time, we have discovered many facts regarding our humanity. That pink people ignore, disregard, or just condemn as evil, satanic, or barbaric. This from people who celebrated death in the arena and public torture as community enlightenment. Really? Really, pink people? Okay. And how much time have pink people had to develop their understanding of this reality? 50 to 60,000 years. Less than 1/10 of the time the people they ignore and abuse have had to understand their being.
Imagine that.
Point being, we are being led by the most ignorant human beings on this planet, who have had the least amount of time to understand this reality, who have had the least amount of interest in understanding the reality as proposed by those who have been here 10 times longer. Now, pink people need to understand their being. Pink men have a problem understanding their being because they lack agape, and without the agape, they have very much fear. And that's what all pink shooters, mass killers, have in common. They feared themselves. They feared life and this reality because they had absolutely no understanding of it. And this was kind of couched and continued by their own government, who tried to keep them as ignorant as possible. They found out that ignorant people are much, much easier to control. Now, let me help pink males. Pink males,
Yes.
you are a fivefold being. You are a being composed of cells that form into tissues, and these cells and tissues form into organs or structures, and these organs or structures form into organ systems. There's the picture. Atoms and molecules we talked about before. Macromolecules, those are cells. They lead to tissues, which lead to organs, which lead to organ systems, which lead to organisms, human beings. Okay, we are a 5-leveled being. And that's what most human beings never get a chance to understand, especially pink males. It kind of scares them to even think about cells, tissues, stuff like that. Again, without agape, they're going to be subject to a whole bunch of fears. But these fears of being a 5-level being are very, very easy to eliminate once you understand your beingness. And you can even leave 5 and go to 6. or maybe even 7 or more. A 6th level being, that's instead of just being one organism, one human being, you are part of a whole species. And you don't think about yourself in isolation from that species.
Right.
Most of my life, I have always considered myself a human being. Part of that is from growing up outside of the United States. I left this country as a teenager and grew up in Southeast Asia. The Philippines, Korea, Vietnam, Kowloon across the harbor from Hong Kong, Japan, all those places. Yeah, that's where I grew up at. And I grew up as a human being, level 6. All of my cells, tissues, organs, organ systems, and beingness was subdued by my humanity. Let pink males go there. They will not want to destroy humanity, what they do now. And what most people who have any understanding of history, anthropology, and the growth of civilizations are fearing like hell, that pink people, specifically pink males, will end all human existence on this planet. We're fearing that right now with all this stuff that Vladimir Putin is doing. Nuclear war is right around the corner. And if that's right around the corner, all present life is just about over. Pink males. Again, the most ignorant, fearful human beings on this planet. And those are the ones we're taking orders from. Those are the ones we're taking directions from.
Doc.
Yes, sir.
When you say pink males, a lot of people think people that are Caucasian, all Caucasians on this planet, especially in the United States.
Okay. Engineer wants me to explain pink males. Okay, there was a book called DNA USA. DNA USA was published by Oxford University in England, and they took genetic readings of Americans from all over the country. And what they found was that every American who thought they were European, who was from the South, was actually not European.
Right.
They had sub-Saharan Alkebulanese DNA in their makeup. They were hybrids, like we are. My wife and I are both 11% Irish.
Yeah.
Duh. And 100% of all people who think they are Europeans who were born in the South, they're not. They have Alkebulanese DNA from us crossing over for generations and after generations, after generations, after generations. The number of people who are pure European, pink people, is probably less than 10% of this country. And one of the things that I've suggested for this country is everybody in America needs to get their DNA done.
Yes.
So they know who the hell they really are.
Yes.
Simple thing, easy thing, enabling thing. Stop all of this bickering. Stop all of this fighting against this group or that group or the other group, because this whole place that we live was made for all people to come here and to make from all people one person, one type of person, an American.
E pluribus unum.
E pluribus unum, the motto, the original motto of the United States. From many, one.
Yes.
From many races, from many nations, from many countries, from many cultures. One nation, culture, race, people. Now, 1956, pink people discovered that meant they were supposed to be eliminated. Yes, that's what God had in mind. Because that one that this country is supposed to produce won't be pink. Nope, there'll be Alkebulanese. There'll be a mixture of Alkebulanese, pink, Native American, and Asian.
Yes.
All the races, all the cultures, but they won't look pink. About 1953 or 4, pink people realized that the motto meant that they were supposed to be eliminated. And they changed the motto from E Pluribus Unum to In God We Trust. When this country was supposed to be established so that our government did not support any religion. Again, pink men making decisions. Pink men making decisions means that you're going to be jacked up more than you're heading the right place.
Yes.
Europe, which has long ago understood that they had to stop, quote, being European and be much more cosmopolitan, which means opening up themselves to the knowledge and wisdom of Alkebulan, Asia, and all the other places on this planet. In America, they say, America will always do the right thing after they've tried everything else. And they are unfortunately correct, because everything else is what pink men are going to suggest that we do. Now, pink men have a problem with fear because they don't have agape, and they have been trained that what they fear, they're supposed to hate. Our whole next show is going to be about stopping hate. We talked about agape, and we talked about how to use it to stop hate.
Yes.
But we got Global Records, Global Entertainment, Miles Alexander Keaton Smith, also known as Humble G, the Fiddler, and me, and my wife, and my daughter, and all of us come and introduce to
OG
you
Sangster.
the Afropeans as we present Stop the Hate.
Yes.
Listen to this.
Hate is a flame that consumes my humanity and the humanity of anyone I direct hate at. Hate is a twisted lens that warps all reality.
I will extinguish the fires of hate with the cooling, soothing waters of filial love.
Filial love is brotherly love. It is the love that exists when you realize that you're related to another through a permanent, unbreakable bond, through a stronger, larger, more important group. Family, gang, culture, race, as a sample of humanity, or as an example of life itself. We are all related.
Yeah. I'm with G the Fiddler. And we gon' stop the hate. Yeah. 1, 2, look, it's time to man up, stand up, face up, hands up. Misleading all the children with your fears, we understand, bruh. Society made you this way, that's how you shift the blame, huh? I get it, it's probably just the way that you was raised up. But this time it's different, time to give that grace up to yourself for the most high and be the one to spread love. An example for the next generation, that's what you also stop all the hate. Cause it's time for us to play our part, what part they ask every time the fiddler hit the stage. So you know my step, I'm always promoting that stop the hate, stop the hate. No procrastination, no debating. That's how I'm feeling, so listen, pay attention. No, I ain't preaching. Education got me on them teachings, got me on them healing. Enabling every last one of my siblings. We all from God, it's time to build so we can beat the odds. Start the love, stop the hate so we can rise above.
It can kill your body and soul. It can turn your heart to cold. Everything you go through, you must grow. So you'll be able to stop the hate and make the world a better place for all the future race. Did you know that you can start today? Stop the hate.
got no mamas. Like Black Eyed Peas said, boy, I got a feeling that the world needs some lyrical spiritual healing for the people to love and not hate it or fear it. Now please bless me with the talents to reach the spirit, so I can penetrate the mind and all its egotistics. They help me listen more and I only just hear it, cause I know we all equal and we'll all inherit all the blessings of life if we only live it. Let's fill up the world with some better places. Might as well get it in for the future races. Wouldn't it feel so good being a generation to inspire peace upon the future nations? Imagine eliminating all the petty hatred and getting back to the basic shit where the faith is. But first, stop the hate.
It can kill your body and soul. It can turn your heart to cold. Everything you go through, yo, you must grow. So you'll be able to stop the hate and make the world a better place for all the future rays. Did you know that you can start today?
Well, let me holler at my third eye world, close with precision, and painting perfect pictures of new dimensions in your lenses so everybody can see the vision. Pay close attention to verbal conversations that's getting heated all across the nation. We got the power to focus on a decision, spoken through politicians, speaking out loud throughout the competition. The world been ready for change, ain't no escape from the stain, left from the shackles and chains that they forgot to mention. We overcame every obstacle that was laid, prophesied through the greater documentation of our Dr. King. He had a dream that we all came to the boat. Up in 40 years since the start. I think it's time to let your voices ring. Pick up your voice and let freedom ring through the notes. Everybody can vote and take a stand on what we all believe. The time has come to be brave, stand by the king, it is great. Embrace the road that was paved and let your conscience breathe. Although the man gave his life just like our Lord Jesus Christ, all to be bought with a price they didn't have to pay. The crucifixion with death, child and submission, the world still wouldn't listen, and you wonder why we need to pray.
Kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Stop the hate.
Yes. Pink males are stuck at 4 or 5, while most of humanity is trying to get 6 or 7. See what Marianne Williamson / Nelson Mandela was trying to get you to see? You, as a member of humanity and partaker of life. Stopping life is all that's left for those who feel trapped at 4 or 5, while their real hope is to join all existence in praise of life. And the true enabled living of life for and as life. Not the name that you've been given, not the race that you are, not the religion that you practice, but simply the fact that God has blessed you with grace and through faith with life. Enjoy that life. Live that life. peace.
That means
Proper education always corrects error.
peace.
Peace, y'all.